I think so. I think so. I think we figured it out. Hang on a second here, guys. I think we got it. Ah,
All new iPhones have amazing camera upgrades capable of capturing next
we'll
level.
shut that off. This is so, hey, how about that? I think we got it figured out.
Yeah, and I found I got some dinner.
Did you get it figured out?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's going right.
Well, I'm making lunch for myself.
What do you make it?
I'm warming up my food for.
Oh, all right. Oh boy, I don't know. I'm not really hungry.
You can let me know when you're there.
Yeah. See what old Scotty's doing over here.
Got the rocker pretty well fit. I was looking at the gap here and everything, you know. I think we got, I don't know if it'll work. Because if we get this lined up here, this might be out a little bit here. I don't know if there's an old trick you do where you put like a 4x4 in between here and you shove on the bottom and try and tweak the door a little bit.
I think the door just needs to come in.
Actually help.
Needs to come out.
Yeah, look.
Oh yeah.
See, it's pretty close, but down here it's almost level.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you come out, up here like I was saying, a little
I
bit.
think the striker just needs to come out a
Yeah,
little
right.
bit.
And then, like I say, if we can tweak this in a little bit, I don't know.
Might be able to do it at the
Like some-
with the hitches with the hinges.
We could, but we gotta see how it'll fit with the fender to make sure it doesn't bring the door in.
Yeah,
past
right,
the fender.
right.
Cause like I say, I've seen it on some other cars, we used to take and push real hard on this corner here with a 4x4 up here, and we kinda tweak it a little.
Yeah.
Just give it a little bit extra. But I don't know what a door this big. It's heavy duty.
Yeah, I don't know.
All I can do is try. Put it in there and lean on here, give it the old football shove, you know? One of them. And then if we have to, we might have to grind open a little bit of this gap here.
What, that one's too?
This one's tight.
And so is the other side.
Yeah, the guy
Same
didn't do
thing.
very good at gaps.
No. No, he wasn't.
It's a little, you know, it's not perfect all the way down.
No, I think that's probably where they did that quarter half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They went
I wonder if
half a
they- I
quarter.
wonder if
Or,
they did this side too.
I think they did. I bet you if you're looking there, I bet you it is.
I'll have to take a
Yep.
peek before we weld it up.
Yep.
Like I say, I got this out here. So if we keep it right about maybe just like a little bit of a better outer on the top, like about here maybe, then everything should fit right in with the gap and all. Might be a hair in on the bottom here, but you don't want to start smacking metal on the door. I'm trying to get this back out a little bit where it's got to be.
Yeah,
close.
that needs to come out.
So I'm gonna take and smack this corner, pull this out a little bit, get her out farther, and then we can. Take-
Yeah, because the shape of the quarter comes right down like it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, if you line up the straight edge on the bottom lip here, it looks like it's straight, but, you know, so I think the door is a little bit.
I think if we just probably just take and loosen the door up and then just swing the bottom of the door down a little bit.
Yeah, squeeze. Because I don't want it to be out on the top, because where your eye level stuff, that's where you want everything perfect.
Right.
You know, because that's where you would notice it. Because if you're out here, you can get out to there, you'd be out of here past up there.
And I don't think anything moved because we haven't pulled the floor out of it yet. So
Right, so nothing.
I'm gonna get 1x1s and we'll weld them in there
Okay.
when we go to start cutting everything out. This way, none of this shit moves. Then you know.
Right. Usually you run one across the back and, but it, you know.
Yeah, and then we
Here
can
to
put one
there.
in the jam if we
Yeah,
want
you just
to.
throw a couple tech shots.
Yeah,
on it,
that's
and you
all.
just cut it up with the cutoff wheel.
Right.
They do it whenever they do like body cars.
Yeah.
Whenever you're doing it.
Yeah, especially with the way these quarters are. I figure it'll be solid with the rocker, but still, if that moves, it moves.
Right, but you know, even though you only got support there and here, it could move a little bit. So if at least we hold it up at the top, or maybe we put it in around here, It'll keep her out right where it belongs.
Yeah.
Measure right up exact.
How far out is it here? Oh yeah, it's quite a bit on this.
You know, we're out with the door though, a little bit. So it's pretty close. Right in the front, it looks good. So all you do is bring out the back a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like almost like that door is.
Well, I'm trying to match the gap up to the other side. Because this side here, I mean, I could give you a real tight one, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I get.
No, I think, you know what? Because if you look, I'm looking at that bolt, you know, that flange for the bolt.
Right. A little
And
bit.
right now, like, let it roll out a little bit on the top. See, that's straighter right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not there, probably go up a little bit, but,
Well, we
so
got
it
this-
needs to, so when you're pushing it up, it's rolling it in.
Right.
So it
I think
needs
I gotta
to,
get something on the inside so it just goes up.
so it just goes straight up.
Right. I mean, you can move it a little bit. You can always twist that a hair if you had to. But you'd rather just get the whole rocker.
That's why a lot of people say, I'll put the floors in, but you know what? It doesn't matter if you've got this all lined up right.
Right? 'Cause it's gotta go back here. Up there, so it's right on the door.
Yeah, because it's got a,
'Cause I know
so
right-
whatever's stopping it from going up
Right.
in the front needs to get clearance.
Yeah, I'll have to
So it'll-
take out a little bit of it.
So the inside goes up as much as the outside will let it go up.
Right. I can see it's hitting the little tip here on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll cut a little bit
Yeah.
more of this little flange off that I welded to.
Right.
And then that'll go straight up. No, we can weld that flange like we did the other side right
Yeah.
to the front. And then weld up all the holes in there. Like I said, that'll go straight up instead of twisting it. Because I can see it hitting it right now.
Yeah.
So that. Oh, I see something.
A little goober under?
Yeah, a little bit of a weld. So that'll work fine when I get that out of there. The cutting wheel, give it a little slice.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's here or not anyway. There says there's 2 people on, but nobody said anything, so.
Okay.
What's your ice?
You got it. The old eyeball cover's on. Get this little booger out of here.
Sorry for the compressor noise.
Just a little bit on the lip there.
Oh, okay.
I'll take a little trim on. Grab holes.
That's a lot better, huh?
But a little bit in the front, and a little bit there. Actually, got right about there. Now it's sitting nice and flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got her. Nice gap. Cool. Front looks nice. As we'll just tap that tab down and mold it right to it, and then fill in that little spot, and bundle like we did the other side. All we gotta do is play with the back.
Yeah.
A little bit, and then we can try adjusting that lower hinge in.
Yeah, because the bottom of the door probably needs a. I mean, it's
Just a little bit down.
just a little bit, not very much.
Like I say, with a door, with an old door like this, you don't know how much it was bent up, and,
Right.
'cause if we get.
I mean, it doesn't line up bad with that quarter, but is it pretty much close? Why don't you clamp that front and then?
Give it a peek.
Give her a nibble.
See if she'll stay there. Cool.
Yeah, I went to sit in the car to cut the roll bar out of it and knocked the rocker came off. I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. It's only.
That's like.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
It's only jet clamping. Like I said, once you get this clamp back where it belongs. Grab her at the top. Brings her out.
Oh yeah, okay. Now
Now
it's
it's matching a little bit.
yeah.
Like I say, we go up with that a hair for God, because it's just falling, it's like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it'll probably be about like that on a gap.
You know, what we'll do is we'll check the. You know what we can do too is we could check a level on the other side and see where it is on this side. But as long as it's from the top to the bottom and it's level at there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we know we put the fender on it, it should line up over on this side.
Yeah, like I said, all we gotta do is just check that radius. Like on the other side where we had to push it up a hair to get the radius perfect.
Right.
But then, I mean, this is like almost on the money. Like, it should go up a hair more in the front. There's a tighter gap on this side though. I mean, you know, like they say, you're not like a lizard where you can see both sides.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it
probably-
seems like it's like the middle of the door bows out a little bit.
Yeah, because here it feels pretty good. You're about maybe a 16th out on the door with the rocker, you can feel it. And then
Yeah,
it
you
starts
can
getting
actually
out
you
here.
can you can see it just a touch.
Yeah, it's just a little bit out, but I mean, otherwise you gotta take a 2x4 and smack it with a hammer and try and bend the lip without messing the paint up.
No, as long as I mean, if it doesn't match all the way across, I don't think that's a big deal. Because you got to remember, the rocker's going to be black, so you're not going to see it.
Oh, right, all blended.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all
But
blended.
as long as because if it's the door that's bowing out,
Well, that's what I mean, you'd have
well,
to
you know what? Too
play with the door and you don't wanna mess this up. You know what I mean?
got a trick though too. We could take and jack that once it's welded. You could jack the center of that rocker out a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably just wait till we start laying the floor in, but.
Right.
Then again, you can't
I
really
mean,
get
we,
to
you know,
it.
we could jack it out with something. You know, I got a porta power at home. So
I mean, I mean, it doesn't bother me that the door's in. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I mean, if you want to bring it out a hair, I could see doing that, but I wouldn't want to go too far. You know, like maybe bringing out a.
But see,
Eighth, maybe?
when you look at it, the line, well, the top is in more than the bottom.
Right.
Because the bottom is almost perfectly aligned
If you
right
look
now.
If you look up there, that's perfect. Just about.
Yeah, so why is that off like that?
Well, it's either gotta be, like I say, we gotta bring the bottom hinge in just to squeeze.
Or is the quarter off a little bit?
That's the thing, we don't know.
You know?
Cause if they ran it up here like they did the other side, then they would have bound and blended it in probably if they overlapped it instead of butting it. If you butt steel together, you get the same level. If you overlap, you got.
Right,
lip in it.
right. Yeah, it depends on how they
It doesn't
did it.
look- Unless they bottomed it way up.
Yeah. I
It
don't
looks, I
know.
mean, it looks pretty,
It looks pretty flat. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's no, like black.
Yeah,
shirts
when you
never-
look, yeah, when you look, right now, I'm looking down at it. I mean, it's from the door handle
Down to here.
till, yeah, a little bit above. Go a little more,
Right
about, nah, a little more, right in there. That's
Right.
about the same. It is starting to taper out a little bit, but when you get down to the bottom of the door is definitely,
But you can see something here what it did. I don't know if they sectioned the whole quarter on or what the hell they did.
I don't
But
know.
it looks like it was one of these, like you smacked the top and it went, or it pushed it out a little bit.
Yeah, almost.
I mean, there's, I mean, if the car wasn't, if you were gonna repaint it and stuff, then we could have taken and set up something and pushed that section in. You'd have to support up there, support down here to the other side, then you'd have.
Now,
to
did you
jack it.
slam the door, right? I mean, if you pull on the door, it won't. Alright, so now,
No, it's locked all the way.
see, and it's about where it's supposed to be on the bottom. But if
Right.
you,
Like I said, right here in this corner, like the other side is where it gets.
it's
tight.
catching, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to grind these open, I'll take.
But
them
if
out.
you were to take and pull the door out, then you would throw the top off.
Like I say, if you come out here to line this up, I'd say you could maybe go right about there to be safe.
And then how is it up on the
It's a
top
little
of
bit past it here, but from like.
So you could split the difference.
Right, I mean, like from my finger up is like, looks perf.
And how is it up on
It's
top
a little
there?
bit out here, like here it's a quarter inch out on the bottom. Maybe about like, yeah, a little under a quarter inch. That's why I say, tweaking it sometimes if you can twist the door a little bit in the back. Because you got more.
And that is in line from the rocker all the way to the edge of the quarter?
No, it's out here too.
No, but I mean the rocker itself. I mean, is the rocker
I
level
mean,
with?
if we go like this where we're gonna leave it out a little bit, then you're out a little bit here. Back here, you're probably 3/16 out past it. Something like that. Well, don't forget, we gotta put a little bond on this too to fill it in. But if you look at the straight edge, and the rocker is pretty much on the money, just about. A little high here, but I gotta grind it down.
Yeah.
When you're right in the radius, it's pretty close, and then right on the outer edge of the whole thing where you kind of line it up. I got a booger in the way there, but it lines up right on the quarter.
Bring the back down a little bit. Can you? Yeah. Get it more on that bottom edge and then see.
I got a little weld right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
in the way. Once I get it tacked on, I can grind it.
But I mean, it's so long that, it lines back up again with it.
Right. Like I say, you can see here where it's,
Yeah.
it's about the thickness of the skin past the door.
Oh,
So
shit.
if you go in where it's level like that, latch where you're at, and it's almost on the money on the bottom. But
And
on
the top is
like
just,
that, you can see how much it's up. If you go flat here on the quarter, look how much it ain't touching the door.
so actually the top of the door probably needs to pull out just a little bit.
Could be. Matches nice on the front windshield edge.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I say I think the door's got a little bit of
I
a
could-
little bit of a tweak in it.
The door or the quarter's off a little bit. I mean, you're trying to adjust the door off the quarter.
Right.
you know,
Like I
without
said,
without cutting everything loose and repainting the whole car. You know, I mean,
right. That's what we're trying to
I don't remember what it looked like before, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, if I would,
I mean, the door closes where the door closes, so I mean, I don't see.
like I say, you could always bring it out of here if you want.
I mean, we didn't cut any floor away.
No.
I mean, any more than what was already cut away.
Right.
So,
We've only got the rocker area cut open.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
little
So
ribbon
it's
is
still
attached.
attached in the back and it's still attached in the front. So the floor is still
The
there.
only one that ain't attached is the other side where we cut that loose to bring it out.
Yeah, which wouldn't affect this side anyway.
No, that wouldn't have did nothing to this.
So yeah, something's changing on this side here.
Right, like I say, either it's bulged out too far here, or to do it, well, another way you could do it. I mean, if we were set, we could always beat the lip out, but you gotta watch some of that with black, cause you'll see a distortion.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Big giveaway.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we could find a happy medium here, to where it wouldn't be out too far down here.
Because I don't think there's no rubber seals on this car yet. I mean, all the seals are gone.
Right.
So, I mean, the seals will be there. So, I mean,
That just cushions it really.
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's not a big
It's
deal.
not
So if it's
sealed.
out a little bit, it'll still seal.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they may have adjusted it in to get it so it didn't rattle with no seals on it.
Maybe. That's what they could have did. That's why this side's in tighter than the other side.
It could be.
But yeah, like I say, once you got the weather strips in there.
But now it's off on the top though, right?
A very little bit. It's like out of hair. But this part matches here. This is our only problem here. Is this back corner. Like I said.
That's how I do it on my semi.
Because I mean, that front matches up pretty good there. So
Because when the guys are getting in and out on P&D when they're doing it, they hang off the door, and they tweak the door. Well, they're always wanting to put hinges on it. Well, the one mechanic that they got rid of, the old timer,
yeah.
he used to take a piece of wood and he'd put it up in front and give the door a tweak. And
That's what I was
man,
talking
it seal. Before I could stick my finger in between the seal and the door, when he was done, that thing sealed perfect.
Oh, because I mean, a lot of that's newer too, though. So the metal's thinner.
Yeah.
So you can.
I learned that
I
on
learned
her.
that from my dad.
Yeah, I learned that on her pickup because when Billy Reichert did it,
Right.
after she got in the accident, man, it was like that far out. He goes, Chinese doors.
Yep.
He just put a part. He just pushed on it. And I'm like, he went too far. He's pulling it back. I'm like no metal at all. Like,
I mean, my old man took a Ford LTD that rolled over and he straightened the roof. He lifted the roof up with a forklift and everything, bent the doors, and he got it to where everything worked.
really?
It's sealed, didn't leak in the rain or nothing.
Wow.
Like I say, the old timers know their shit.
Yeah, they
And
do.
they find out, and that's why whatever I learn, I try to pass on to other guys that might be doing this, that when I'm gone, they'll still be able to do the same old techniques we used to use.
Right,
Instead
right.
of
Yeah,
having-
most of the people don't know how to do the.
No. Well,
I don't know how to do
If you
it.
got a
So.
modern day kid that just got out of high school, like, younger than my ass by far, and he tried to work on this, he couldn't do the tricks on the new shit that you do on your own.
What's that place that a lot of guys were going to learn all this stuff? Was that Wyoming Tech or something? Not Wyoming.
There was something like that. There was also in the city here, it used to be a lane tech.
Yeah, but that one out
That might be
out
like-
west, they were learning how to do
Wild
custom
Tech?
work.
Wild
Maybe
Tech?
something. They were doing custom work. They were
Yeah,
learning how to
plus They were
do.
also teaching the guys how to work on the funny car crews and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you graduate, you go right.
Right,
to like
right.
Rome or Schumacher. Or anything
Yep.
else.
I forget what the name of that was.
But I think I'd heard of a Wild Tech. I remember.
I can't remember what the name of it was. But I used to hear about it all the time. I haven't heard about it in a few years.
Well, just like we were talking about my wing on my show bike, the Romeo Palomides. Couldn't think of his frickin' name talking to Ken.
I have to look when I get
Nothing
off of
rang a
this.
bell,
Right,
But you
right.
were right, because I remember the minute you said Rome Palomides. Because it's a weird name that you don't hear a lot.
He started American Wheels.
Really. Tell you what, he's a smart man. He could build jet cars.
He was the one that came up with the first the thin 5-spokes and all that,
The spin
and
mounts.
and the spindle mounts and all that for the funny cars and the jet cars and all that.
Those were
And that's what I don't remember what it was called at the time. It might have been America, and then he sold it off to whoever. Yeah, Yeah.
And then he must have stayed in his business of building cars.
Well, yeah, he just kept building race cars. He didn't want to mess with wheels. He just,
Yeah, he was in one of them, the deals like you see, the whole length of the block is all buildings.
oh yeah, yeah.
And he had a section in a building. Right,
Um,
right up at 95th. and
Dave
94th.
Verche used to actually work for him. There were a bunch of guys. John Terrer used to work for him. There are a lot of people that are still around that used to work for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, learn how to do chassis work and stuff over there.
I always kind of wanted to learn how to build chassis. That's a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of work too, but this ain't not like building a chassis.
Mm.
'Cause you gotta get all those radiuses right on the tubes where you're putting them.
See, I think that the level on this is pretty close. You know, as far as it's being tilted,
Right.
because this here is what I'm judging it by.
Well, like I
You
say,
know,
this
right
here's,
there.
That can go up,
Yeah.
you know, so we can hit it about there.
See, there's no place for you to clamp it. The only thing you can do is run.
That's why it keeps falling down.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless you
I
ran
can put
it-
the screw in it like
Yeah, I
you
was gonna-
did,
yeah, you can throw a screw in it.
you know, and that'll hold
That'll
back.
pull it tight.
And I just wanna get this, before I weld this in, I wanna get this exactly where we gotta have it.
Right.
So if we gotta push it out, maybe put a 2x4 in there to hold it out while I'm welding it,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
you know, just something to give it a little bit out, but we don't wanna go too far.
I don't know if there's. I don't think anybody's.
I mean, it'll move a little.
Nobody said anything. I don't
You
know
know.
how you do that.
Well, I just go by everything I've learned, you know. That's why, you know, sometimes you think of a 4x4 in here or 2x4, whatever fits, and then you lean heavy on
Yeah.
the bottom, and that'll tweak the whole door a little bit.
Because it, like I said, it lines up nice up on top. I
Yeah.
mean, that front gap along the window is almost perfect. You
Right.
know, where it goes up here.
I mean, it's
I mean, you
just
can
about
see
on the
it,
money,
it's-
it
yeah.
is. And it's straight.
Right.
And you got a nice even gap.
Yep.
So that's why it's like, you don't wanna disturb some of the stuff, but, you know, back here, you're out a little bit. Of course, like I said, if we go.
But it's got to go in.
Right there, we match the quarter up here. And this, man,
And then it's-
this is out a hair, just a little bit on the door. But this part feels like perfect. And then down here, it comes out. So we could try with a 2x4 in there and try leaning on it. And see if that'll twist it a little.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Put a
No.
rag over that and give it
I
a.
mean, either it's gonna give or it won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, it'll work. It'll work until it doesn't.
Well, I think it won't be like a new car where you lean on it, it's gonna go, oh shit, too far.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's gonna go a little bit.
Oh, I imagine it's. I mean, if you pulled it out, you could probably grab the top and the bottom and probably, it'll tweak. I mean, none of this.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't
this.
forget these are well-made doors.
Not as much as you think. I don't think.
I mean, that's the only problem. I mean, you could try doing this, you know, but that ain't
Yeah.
moving. I ain't got enough room.
No.
Like I said, bring it out to there, which would be just a little bit on your striker, but I just hate it like it's about from here down.
Yeah, but like I said, that's got to be in the quarter. So I think what it is work to keep it tight there and keep it tight down on the bottom. And then wherever the quarter falls, the quarter falls.
Oh,
I mean,
plus-
it's not going to be perfect. I'm not figuring
No.
it's going to be
I
perfect.
mean, it's a lot of dicking around to make it perfect, you know? I mean, you'd have to start shifting shit, grinding, bonoing.
Yeah, right. No.
I mean, you don't wanna go too far with this thing. If we had no lettering on it, you could go bananas and make it perfect. But more time.
Yeah.
I mean, plus you gotta think.
I didn't want to get into that.
Altereds, they're always something a little bit off because
Right.
the way they're so powerful and
Yep.
shit, they're gonna tweak something in the body somewhere. You know, so a lot of people don't expect them to be perfect. But like I say, we can take that round stone I got, the big one, and we can crank open these radiuses a little bit. And give it a nice gap.
Yeah, right on the quarter. And then you know what? I mean, we're going to shoot the rockers anyway.
Yeah, we
So,
gotta go down here. You know, we'll try and blend it in.
well, you wanted to work on the inside of the door jamb on that other side anyway.
Oh,
right?
yeah, right. I gotta
Because you
finish
said it was
sanding
like
all.
they didn't finish it going up either.
Yeah, they
So-
actually had a little bit too much Bondo up here or something.
That's probably why the gap. It's probably the same way.
Could be. Because, I mean, the inside, you know, like after you get about a half inch in, everything looks factory where it's all with the
Oh, yeah.
everything looks perfect in there, you know?
Well, nobody's really stopped by. I got 3 people in here, but oh boy, everybody's out doing stuff Sunday afternoon. I figured I'd try to go live and see what
And it
happens.
might be also because it's a nice day.
Yeah, it's a nice day. Nobody wants to be sitting
It
around
was
watching
supposed to be
YouTube.
raining, and it's not, so.
It was supposed to rain yesterday and it didn't.
It was supposed to rain at 5 o'clock this morning till 9 o'clock, and I went outside for a swim at
Oh.
about 9:30, waking up. I didn't see any water, any puddles. I saw one little puddle in my alley. It was like.
I don't think
gives
we
you
got
that
any
dark
rain
color.
here at all.
Hmm?
I don't think we got any rain here at all.
No, because all the dirt was gray by me, not black. you know.
Oh.
It wasn't wet. So that's how I knew I didn't have to water flowers yesterday. All the stuff I gotta do for mom. She was all worried about me,
Oh, okay.
you know.
I guess I lost something. I don't know what the hell. it
It's
is.
just everything's out of tweak. It could be I'll be in the quarter panel.
Could be.
Because the door looks pretty, when you look at it, you see the quarter panel moving around. You don't see, this looks like a nice, radius with the car. And this could be off or.
Does that quarter move at all, or you didn't really cut this one loose,
No,
right?
this one's all mounted down here.
Yeah.
Feels like the same booger welds too. But I mean, the only thing that moves is be a little bit on the bottom. I mean, this section will move. You know? Mainly down here. Because I was thinking the front of this might have been a little bumped in or something. That's why I was beating it out before. And you can only get it out so far. I mean, if you wanted to, we could always cut this front section loose and try and pry it out a little bit.
Let's see if it comes out a little bit.
Could do that too, because we gotta put a floor in it anyway. It don't take shit to do that.
I mean, it's gonna get cut loose either way.
Exactly. So maybe I can take a piece of wood or put something in there and just bring it out and hold it. And then when you tack weld this together and you get this all together, this should hold it out then.
Yeah.
And then we get the new flooring, you just put your seams together, clamp them up nice. And you can always adjust it a little bit if you gotta pull it out more with that.
Yeah, we could.
You clamp it,
Well, anybody that's here, I'm gonna go cut off. There's really nobody here, so I'm tired of holding my phone for nobody.
Right.
2 people that are here. Thanks for stopping by.
Right. Check in with us later.
Yeah, check in with us later on.
Rocker will have it on and we'll be having our.
I'll figure out how to turn this back. How do I turn it off? You sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. See you guys.